Brought to you by
Envy, the power of French perfume.
Nice perfume. Nice perfume.
Envy, the power of French perfume.
Ben, you've gone sort of pretty deep into day 5 again, but it's quite a big margin of defeat. What do you put that down to this week?
I think two moments in the game, having them, 200 for 5 and then not quite being able to blast them open like, we know that we can. So they ended up getting a big first innings total, obviously, after us having a good start, having them 5 down for not too many on the board, and then obviously being 80 for 5 in reply to India's first innings. It's always going to be tough to get back into a position where you can look to push on and being on the winning side at the end of the game.
And in terms of the toss, I know you don't have a crystal ball. If you'd have known exactly, which you can never know, if you'd known how the pitch was going to play out, do you feel like you probably gave them the best of the conditions?
I think if we were able to, burst them open when we did have them 5 down earlier on day 1, then the game potentially probably would have played out a little bit different. But yeah, as the game got deeper and deeper into it, it was pretty obvious that it was sort of not playing the way that we thought it was going to. And if anything, the longer the game played out, the more it was suiting that Indian team over our team. But as you say, no one's got a crystal ball. No one's really going to know what a wicket's going to do. Look, having them 200 for 5, we were happy there. Even 5 down at the end of day 1, but we just weren't able to bust them open. And we had a chance to potentially bowl them out for under 350 on that wicket, which would have been a good effort.
And you don't have a great deal of turnaround time now, but you have to think of some plans to unsell Shubman Gill. He's spent a hell of a lot of time giving you footage to look at.
Yeah, he's had some 2 games, hasn't he? Look, again, it's one of those things where early on we've got plans on attacking the stumps and trying to bring in the LBW, and then a couple of times early on where he's just managed to get a little inside nick on those, and those are the kind of things that happens when players in form. He was played amazingly well at Headingley first innings, but these 2 innings he played here were, especially in that first innings, you've got to give your opposition and credit when it's due. And for him to bang out as many runs as he has done in this game, it's been pretty special for him.
We'll go Will and then Matt, please.
Then just do a quick sort of health check on your fast bowlers. Are they all kind of in a race with it for the Lords after such a heavy workload?
Yeah, absolutely good as gold. I think the efforts that we sort of all put in as a bowling unit there, especially the big quicks, was he throws the ball in any situation and they keep charging in, running in. But it's no secret that we have spent some time in the field and bowled some overs in the first 2 games, and we'll have to see how everyone pulls up over the next 2 days. But obviously, with it being a quick turnaround, then there probably will be a decision we have to make, considering given how everyone does pull up after this game.
Bryden's toes looking a bit problematic again.
What, sorry?
Bryden's toes looking a bit problematic again.
Just to be clear, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Bryden's toes. It's his boots. He keeps blowing through his boots. That's why he keeps nipping off and having to get new pairs on. So there's nothing wrong with Bryden's toes.
And can we expect to see Jofra at Lords?
Again, there will be a decision that we have to make, seeing how everyone pulls up. We've had him here this week to get around the group and build them up with his workloads and everything like that. So everyone's in consideration for the game at Lords.
Matt, go ahead and we'll take 2 at the front here. Go ahead, Matt.
Then you've had some brilliant wins, including last week at Leeds, but quite a lot of these quite big defeats. Do you think there's a reason why you struggle to be consistent?
300 and something's obviously a big margin. We knew what task we had of us. Going into when we first went out to bat in the 4th innings, obviously that changed when we lose 3 wickets like we did last night. It then rains for an hour and a half, and then we lose 2 early wickets. So the task of today, when we got to that point, was batting out the 80 overs. The result that we always try and push towards and look for, obviously, it was beyond. There's the way in which you address that, and obviously going into our shells, going into our bunkers and looking to play in a certain way is one way you could look at it. But for us to, as a batting group and a unit, to go out there and bat those 80 overs, it was to go out there and play the way that we play and focus on the fact that we knew we had to bat 80 overs. But yeah, like 300 and something's obviously a big deficit. Yeah, India pushed to get 600 for some obvious reasons, I think.
Is that because you've been so successful chasing, do you think?
I don't think it's might have to do something like that. But yeah, look, 600 it was just a mammoth total to try and chase down. And you know, psychologically, whether that decision was decided at 350, 400, and you need to keep getting more and more and more, I don't know. Yeah, look, we weren't able to deliver our skills that we needed to in that fourth innings with the bat when we were under pressure, and that can happen. We're obviously disappointed, but you know, we got 3 days to turn around, so we need to get over this one, just like we got over the enjoyment and the excitement of winning that first game. So we need to flip our heads around and get our heads on Lords.
Did it hurt you inside at all? Except that you couldn't go for the chase because you made it clear you don't like draws. To have to actually go for one more time, did that hurt you in any way?
I wouldn't say it hurts. It's just another thing that you get faced with as international players. You get faced with different situations all the time, and we knew the situation we were faced with in particular this morning when we lost those 2 wickets. And the way that everyone just still went about their business and knew that the task at hand was batting out the 80 overs. Even the way Jamie went out and continued the way that he played from his first innings heroics. That's how we felt he was going to be able to spend the most time out there and be someone at the end there, hopefully at the end of the day. But yeah, just wasn't meant to be.
We'll go Mel on this side and then we'll take 2 at the front. Go ahead, Mel.
Then the other side of the equation of why you've won so many games has been taking 20 wickets. So is that a little bit frustrating or concerning that you weren't actually able to take 20 wickets in this? And how much do you think about that when you look ahead at the next game?
Yeah, you can't win a game if you don't take 20 wickets. But I don't read into it too much. You know, you do also have to appreciate how well India played with the bat. Obviously, pretty favourable conditions, especially if someone got in. 2 of our lads showed that this week, that if you get in, it was very hard to get someone out. So, India's full of world-class players. Shubman's had another unbelievable week with the bat, but he was very well supported throughout. In particular, sort of at the back end, the tail, Jadeja again coming in and getting some valuable runs. So, skill against skill. It's always tough to sort of go, how did we not take 20 wickets? But you are allowed to let your opposition play well, and they definitely did that in that first innings.
And then 1 each going forward, 2 here. We'll do Chris, and then we'll finish here at the end. Gentleman here in the corner.
Ben, just want to ask, can you talk about what difficulties as a batting group you're facing when you're facing, Akash Deep? What specifically, he was doing there? And the second part is, are you worried about your own batting form?
I thought Akash Deep exposed that crack especially last night and this morning. His ability to be able to use and change his angles consistently, but still be so accurate with that. And obviously, he was zoning in on that crack. That one that Harry Brook got this morning, can't do anything about that. Standing at the other end when Jamie Smith got a couple of those earlier on, it was like they were seaming a foot off it. So, incredibly skillful to be able to hone in on that zone, but while still changing his angles on the crease. I thought it was good. Question about me, no.
Yes, sir, go ahead in this corner, Ben.
Hi, good to see you. I need to ask you about Jasprit Bumrah as well, because we've seen him in different formats in Test cricket, ODI and in T20 as well. How do you look to prepare against different players over time? Because you've played against him for so many years, Joe Root's played against him for so many years, and again, you would be playing against someone like Japan for so many years as well. How do you tend to learn about different players as they grow and evolve, just like you would as well?
So you're asking me about Jasprit Bumrah, or?
Just about Jasprit Bumrah, yeah.
I thought I'll get through a press conference so I have to ask about Jasprit Bumrah. But No. No, we play against each other so often. We play, so look, you know what you're going to be faced with, and yeah, you put that into practice in your training. You try and do as much as you can with, the coaches that we have with the sidearms, coming wide of the crease or trying to, almost give you practice like their bowling lineup, if that makes sense. It's very tough to replicate, but you're always trying your hardest to replicate something that's going to be coming down to you in the middle of a game.
At the back, Chris, one question and we'll finish off here at the front. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi there. You've had plenty more good times than bad as captain. How confident are you in the group that you can come back strongly at Lords, get back on the front foot in the series? I answered this a few times where we've obviously had some unbelievable wins. We've had some, pretty bad defeats. But I feel what I'm quite good at and what the team is very good at is being able to stay level throughout those, ups and downs. I think that's so important, in particular in a series where we knew coming into the series it was never going to be easy. There was always going to be ebbs and flows in a game, and in particular in the series, because we're both two very good teams. And yeah, I thought, obviously, after the Headingley game, the way in which we, just sort of, we celebrated, but it was like we know what the job, we've still got 4 more games to go. Yes, we're disappointed with the loss here. Would have been great to have carried that momentum over from the first game, but we don't find ourselves sitting here like that. So yeah, we've got to wipe this one under the carpet as quickly as we can, because it's going to be, Lord's Day 1's going to come around pretty quickly. We'll have 1 day or 2 to get the bodies right and recover, and then all of a sudden we'll be out there flicking the coin and walking out the field and playing again. So yeah, just being able to stay as level-headed as you possibly can, not getting too up, not getting too low, and staying true to the fundamentals of what's got this team to where we have them.
And last one here, please.
When Mohammad Siraj got 6 wickets in the first innings and Akash Deep got 6 wickets, what did Indian bowlers do special that English bowlers could not from a seemingly flat pitch?
We nicked a few more than what India did. And they, honestly, it's one of those where it sounded like we went past the bat a few times. We had a few nicks go in the gaps. We nicked them, and and India caught them. You sit there, it's such a frustrating game to watch sometimes, and be out there and watch the stuff unfold in front of you. But at the same time, that's why you absolutely love it. That's why you love being a part of the emotions of this game. I think that's probably part and parcel to do with why Test cricket is such a game that people love watching, because of how it can unfold. A little bit of luck here and there, and you're the team on top. But yeah, look, they just played better as an all-round unit, as a batting unit, as a bowling unit than us this week, and we were in that situation last week where we ended up on top, but India came out on top here.
Thank you.
ये है इंडिया और इंग्लैंड का महामुकाबला। लाइव मैचेस तो आप देख लेंगे, मगर खेल के पीछे टीमों की स्ट्रैटेजी, टीमों की चाल और फिर आपके सवाल, ये सब होंगे स्पोर्ट्स तक। तो अभी तक अगर आपने स्पोर्ट्स तक को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो फटाफट सब्सक्राइब भी कर लीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन की घंटी भी बजा डालिए।